What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here with a video that was requested, and it looked really interesting, but I added on something to it, alright? We've got SCP-096 versus SCP-049, featuring the Volgun and Dr. Cimmerian, I don't know, what the hell. Okay, and we've also got SCP-049 versus SCP-096. This is an SMFM version. I think it's of, like, the same situation. And this one's by Jordan Productions, and the original is by SCP Illustrated. Right, so these both looked really interesting. So and they're both basically the same subject matter. So I decided to put them together. All right, so we're starting off with the one by SCP Illustrated, and it looks like they have a whole series of 096 cross testing. That's cool. I gotta check that out. All right, so let's go. Yeah, check out the cross testing playlist. Loading. Please stand by. Really? Really? You're gonna give me this loading shit? Oh my god, I can't get away from loading screens. No matter what I do, it doesn't matter.
Good day everyone, and welcome back to SCP Illustrated, entry log 95. Today we're going back to SCP-096 in another cross-testing experiment, this time with SCP-049. This was co-written by myself and Dr. Cimmerian. As always, please go and check out his channel for more SCP content. The guy works extremely hard and has a lot of helpful insight into SCP matters. Now, this is an SCP-096 video, so you can expect some scenes of injury and blood. Without any further ado, and with that aside, let's begin.
What the hell?
The following data release has been authorized by the following council members and administration staff.
Okay.
Cross-testing SCP-049, SCP-096. After test report.
At this time, it is impossible to know or even guess as to what SCP-049 did to SCP-096. SCP-049 has refused to give any further information on the matter, except for corroborating what we monitored on the infrared. The syringe was not recovered and no traces of the injected material were present in SCP-096's blood. However, the security team noted a faint scent of lavender was present. Blood tests are ongoing. Save for the momentary irregularity in SCP-096's behaviour after the encounter, no other abnormalities have been observed.
Huh. Okay.
It wasn't new, mind you, but it hurt just the same. A small child sat at the base of a tree surrounded by hundreds of laughing, pointing children. The child's face was buried in its hands and its body bunched up with the knees held close to the chest. The small child rocked backwards and forwards against the trunk. The tree itself was oily black, with thousands of branches reaching far up into the bone-white sky. The tips of the branches pierced the pale white veil, and small drops of blood leaked down to the base of the tree. The roots happily drank up the blood as soon as it touched the ground.
Okay.
Still, the children laughed. Then there was a sudden change. In the distance, someone new was approaching. Someone else to judge him. Someone else to laugh. The child looked up at the approaching pair of eyes, hidden behind a mask. The children, the tree, and the bloodied sky all fell away. They were both in a cold, white
trains always show up when I'm recording.
The creature that used to be
so this
a
is
child
from its
rocked
perspective?
in the corner, sobbing to itself and shaking. It was all bones and skin with little muscle under the pale flesh that covered its body. The man who had just entered was shackled. The chains that bound him continued back into a hole in the door itself. Suddenly, a red light beat on the side of the neck shackle, and all of the chains fell to the ground. The chains were pulled back into the door, and SCP-049 looked down at SCP-096. Its soft cries reverberated off the walls around the doctor, all loneliness and pain. The doctor walked over to the monster and laid a hand on the top of its head. It stopped crying, and its breathing slowed. The doctor looked perplexed, as if he'd expected another reaction. The doctor, however, recovered quickly and looked down at the creature while stroking the top of its head.
Child, you do not have to fear me. I am here to help you. Please, let me see.
With his free hand, the doctor moved its hands from its face, and then moved his hand to its forehead. The thing let out a mournful cry.
I cannot save you.
Fresh tears began to stream down the pale creature's cheeks.
But I can help you.
With this, the doctor pulled a bag from his robes and produced a syringe.
You'll feel a slight pinch, but it's nothing to fear. Trust me.
The sounds of shouting and metallic locks turning echoed from the containment cell door. He allowed the creature's head to go limp as he gripped its arm and positioned the syringe right on top of the median basilic vein. With a slight application of pressure, the syringe slipped into the vein to deliver the medicine. Suddenly,
so he
they were
has
both
something different, huh?
The laughing children were gone. Hanging from the oily black tree's branches were hundreds, maybe thousands of mirror shards. Each one had a reflection of his own eyes, all staring at a single crying child. SCP-049 walked forward on ground covered in ankle-deep water. The slow drip of red into the water left clouds of pink behind, swirling as he stepped forward. The child's crying grew louder and more intense. The doctor reflected on his own life. Curing the great pestilence was his grand purpose, but here was someone suffering. Was he not a doctor? Was this not his higher calling? And as he drew closer to the child, he noticed it was covered in shallow cuts, with blood leaking out all across its body. He reached into his bag for something to staunch the flow when the child's head suddenly snapped up to look directly at him. The child's eyes were red and swollen, as if he'd been crying for hours. The child slowly stood up, its sobbing still the only sound outside of the dripping blood from the tree branches above. Then, as if a dam had broken, it sprinted at the doctor with its arms outstretched. For a moment, the doctor was taken aback, and then the child ran into him at full force. It rocked him in place. The child embraced him and sobbed into his robes. The doctor shook his head and tried his best to comfort him. In the White Room, the plague doctor sat down with the creature until the security forces dragged him away. For a little while, it rested. For just a little while, it was content.
Oh, man.
Just a little while, it was loved. Somehow, it cried even harder.
Probably would have been best just to leave them next to each other. It would have given the doctor something to focus on other than killing people, and it would have given that thing some comfort and maybe
and that
even
concludes
somewhat
this encounter with
it.
the Plague Doctor. I hope you liked it, and be sure to like and subscribe if you did. If you haven't seen them already, there are a few more entries into this ongoing series of SCP-096 cross-tests. You can find a full playlist on the channel homepage. Again, massive thanks to Dr. Sumerian for his help in writing this, and the Volgan for voicing his iconic SCP-049 role. You can find links to both their channels below. Next time, seeing as we're already visiting the Plague Doctor, I'm going to cover the updated SCP-049 file. The file has undergone a lot of changes since I last covered it, and I'm super excited to cover it again with all the new additions. Be sure to follow all the social
data from the new
outlets
experiments.
for video updates. You can find posters and prints on the SCP Illustrated shop, just follow the links. And if you don't want to wait days and weeks for new material, then consider joining the Patreon. You get early video access, see all the sketches early, request your own sketches, request your own SCPs, Discord access, and so much more.
Okay, you guys are going to have to check out the actual original video. Check that out. Okay, so that was interesting. That was very interesting. How, you know, it makes it seem like the thing is just like a suffering child. Alright, so the next one is different. This one's by Jordan Productions. It's just a short video. So let's go. Okay. Throw the switch! Oh, the actual photograph. Oh, shit. Dude, what the hell is that, man? Oh, what the... Okay, this one's more violent than what we got. The other one was actually heartwarming. This is just like Battle Royale. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Touch of death. That's it? Oh, the thing's like only half over. Okay, shit went down.
Copy.
Hello.
That isn't...
Of the disease.
They would have sent more than that just to try to contain those two.
You are not a doctor.
Whoa, okay, he's never been violent before. Not like that. I mean, he kills people just by touch. He's never been like that. Yep, he only stunned it. He wasn't able to kill it. Okay, well that one wasn't quite the same, but still pretty interesting. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed both those videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and then click on the links to both videos down in the description and give them both a like and a sub on if you haven't subbed to either of those channels. These are both pretty good. So, I'll see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content, and bye-bye.